And she saw it and was like, "Babe, there's a tornado." So I jumped up. As we were running upstairs to get all the kiddos is when it came through. So we had like within 60 seconds of the warning that it came through. We didn't know what it was at the time. I mean, we guessed, right? So we're running upstairs to grab the kids. There's 6 of them. And we're trying to get them down into the bathroom, into the tub. And by then it had already come through.
Well, just kind of walk me through what happened last night here.
Yeah, so my wife is 40 weeks pregnant. She woke up in the middle of the night to a flash flood warning alert on the phone, and she's making fun of me because I looked at it and saw it and went back to sleep. And like 60 seconds later, another one went off for a tornado warning. And she saw it and was like, "Babe, there's a tornado." So I jumped up. As we were running upstairs to get all the kiddos is when it came through. So we had like within 60 seconds of the warning that it came through. We didn't know what it was at the time. I mean, we guessed, right? So we're running upstairs to grab the kids. There's 6 of them. And we're trying to get them down into the bathroom, into the tub. And by then it had already come through. But it was like crazy lightning, rain. Yeah, it was nuts.
So walk me through some of the damage and stuff you're seeing in daylight this morning.
Yeah, we saw most of it last night running around with flashlights, but our metal shed building was like gone. We couldn't see it in the dark, but this morning it was picked up and moved like 20 feet. It had a goat barn next to it, a little structure. It was moved. We have a big, there's like 20 chickens back there, and we have 2 coops. One of them is up in a tree. The other one was a big, heavy, thick wooden coop, and it was moved another 20 feet. But yeah, there's all kinds of very large trees that are down. We're pretty sad about that. The trampoline, you can see trees all over the trampoline. It just crushed it. Our trash cans were knocked over, and our neighbor's trash can was in our front yard. But you can see this big swing set right here that was right here staked into the ground with rebar. And it's like big, solid, like thick 2x6 or 4x6 wooden posts. And it's over there in the trees. So, yeah.
Yeah. And
Bummer.
I mean, you were kind of telling me you had just gotten through dealing with all the insurance for the hailstorm, and now this is on your plate again.
Yeah, it was like last May we had this bad hailstorm that came through. So the roof, all the cars and the RV had hail damage, and it took like 8 months to get through the claims and insurance and get the new roof and windows replaced that were busted out. And so in the middle of the night when we were walking around, I was like, I get to start doing this again. Fun stuff. So
no, I have to ask, how's your wife doing? Because 40 weeks pregnant, dealing with all
I was like, this is going to put her into labor. But no, she's good. She did stub her toe in the dark, and she's like, pretty sure I broke my toe. But I think she's good.
And I don't know how long you've been living out here, but have you seen anything like this with a tornado?
Never. We've been here 5 years, and I mean, I've been in Texas, up in the DFW area, never been right in the middle of a tornado, which it was very intense.
Mm-hmm. So just tell me a little bit about what you guys experienced out here last night.
Yeah, it was crazy. About 1 in the morning, the rain really picked up, and then our phones rung with the first a flood warning, then a tornado warning. And as we were going down to our safe spot, the wind really picked up. It was whistling through the windows. Windows were shaking back and forth. And it all lasted just about 3 or 4 minutes, the intense part. And when I came outside, I could see tree branches from our house. A few minutes later, after the rain died down, I got in the car and drove around to see the damage, and that's when I could see all the damage at the front of the house and down the street. But it looked like most of it was focused right here in this part of the neighborhood.
So obviously, seeing it at night's one thing, but now seeing it in broad daylight, what's that?
I'm glad I've got a bunch of chainsaws. We're fortunate that we didn't have any structural damage. Our house seems to be okay. Everything was out here close to the street. It's just really been hard to see our trees over the last 3 years go through ice storms and hailstorms and tornadoes and there's drought, all those things that are still around. So most of the damage to the trees, but they're hard to replace.
Now, you didn't say you obviously didn't have any structural damage, but you had a fence.
I had a fence, yeah, I had an old cross-tie fence that got blown over. I don't know if it kind of got bowled over like from one of these tree branches, but we'll have a little landscaping to do as well.
Now, obviously, have you seen anything like this out here before.
Unfortunately, every year since we've been here, we've been living here since 2022. So this is our third full year. And every year we've had some kind of a storm like this. Last year there was a lot of damage from the hail, kind of like the hailstorm that went through Austin a few weeks ago. Fortunately, I don't think we had any damage to our house this time.
Have you had a tornado out here since you've been living here?
Last year in May, the hailstorm, I think there was some question whether it was a tornado or straight line winds. I never heard definitively what happened. Most of that damage, it was a much wider swath. It was several miles wide all the way over to Ranch Road 12 for that one. But the hail was the big damage. It was, softball size hail or something like that. It was, pretty bad. But this was really just focused right here in our neck of the woods. I was texting with my neighbor while the storm was going on last night, and he said their chicken coop got blown away. Hopefully the chickens are okay. And he also said a shed they don't even know where it is. So it's somewhere in the trees, last I heard from him.
No, I know it's still probably early, but how long do you think it's going to take you to get all this?
Oh, we'll chip away at it. Luckily, we've got chainsaws, and we've done this before. And we'll have a lot more firewood this year, I guess.